Warning. This podcast contains explicit sexual language and should only be listened to at work if you're looking for an excuse to connect with your HR representative. Additionally, all mentions of the word women include cis and trans women. If you are genderqueer, gender fluid, figuring it out, anything in between, and feel like this conversation is also important for you, you are welcome here.
Will you open up with me? These pages, they can feed your innermost desires. Do you feel inspired? Are you getting what you need? Are you coming curiously? A secret safe with me. And here you can simply be yourself. Sweet romance. Come on in, come on in, come on.
Hi, y'all. This is Jace, she, they, and you've found Jace Reads Romance, a community dedicated to empowering women about sex and sexuality through the reading of romance novels. But we're not going to talk about romance novels today because I think we're getting lost on the humanity of everything. I feel like humanity is being erased. And as a community, it's really important to remember that we are people first. All right. There is a real human with real feelings behind however it is that you interact with me, with people in the comments and DMs, the romance world.
Yeah.
And I believe because there are so many layers between your physical body and whoever it is you're interacting with virtually's physical body, you forget the humanity of that person. And specifically, and certainly with reading romance novels in general, there's a human who wrote that novel and you're reading the art, the thing, a physical thing. And sometimes we forget that art is not the artist. And that is going to be a different podcast episode. That's going to be, part 2 of that critique versus opinion.
Yeah.
Like, just because they wrote about it, your favorite MF scene does not, like, MMF scene does not mean that they are an MMF person, that they're in an MMF relationship, that they can give you advice on dating a relationship. Okay, anyway, sidetrack. But if we're building community, we have to remember that we are humans first. And I jokingly called this topic a millennial internet. And I think I'm wrong. Like, I think I'm wrong. I should be Gen X. Like, I absolutely should be Gen X, potentially even a baby boomer, with how bad I am at modern interneting. All right? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. And completely tracks for you.
Yeah. You don't know me.
But I do.
But I just, for those of you who did not live through this, I just want to say where I'm coming from and why I'm happy that I'm bad at it. All right?
Okay.
So Gen Xers did not grow up with the internet at all. They had to talk to real humans, which means they had to be in the physical presence of whatever human they were saying something to. So you wanted to bully someone, you had to be there and watch them get upset. And as a human, we feel each other's emotions. We are programmed to see body language. We are programmed to feel how tones change and shift in voices. It physically affects us.
Yeah.
So if you were going to say something mean to someone, you had to be there and withstand all the signals that your body was telling you that you were being mean, that you were harming someone. which means either you didn't do it because it doesn't feel good to hurt someone, or you got really good at it because you didn't give a shit.
Yep. Yeah.
So I just want to like hold space for all my Gen Xers who did that and lived through that, because no one younger than you has had that experience since.
No.
However, my internet experience has led me down a slightly different path and a different understanding of parasocial relations between the screen. And I think it's very funny that I'm having this conversation with you, Sephie, because we didn't meet for a year and a half.
No, it's at least a year.
A year and a half, I think.
No, because I met you at Christmas.
So it was a Christmas, year, but we'd already been doing the podcast for several months at that point.
Yes, you're right.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to someone who I've been very fortunate enough to build a parasocial relationship with, one not in person, through the internets, through interactions. But I think part of the reason why we've been able to build something so wonderful is, I'm going to brag on myself, is because I treat you like a fucking human being.
Yes. 100%.
So I was born in 1988. For those of you who want to do the math, it's fine. I'm 37. I love being 37. I love it. I'm going to love being 47 and 57. And the only thing I don't want to be is 27. I was not built for my 20s.
Never again.
No.
Never again.
I was I did not take advantage of my 20s. I was very uncomfortable in my 20s. It was just not like I'm uncomfortable in my body, but like all the expectations of being a 20-something. I was like, I don't like these. Can I just move past these and be in my 30s so that no one's like, you're in your 20s? I don't want it.
Yeah.
Also, I should find a picture of me from when I was like 18. My face was a little bit fuller, but like I look the same. I do. It's really upsetting. Oh my God. Yes.
I think my aunt, who is our family recorder, she takes pictures and video of everything that we did. She has taken pictures of me in every year of my life. She sent me a picture of me in high school. So like 16, 17. I look the same. Exactly.
I don't look the exact same because I did, oh my God, in high school. So like mid 2000s, like I didn't know how to take care of my curls. I still used a lot of blue eyeshadow. There were some unfortunate stylistic choices made.
It was black for me. Lots of smoky eye.
I wish I could wear like a gray smoky eye, but I immediately turn into like vampire death. I think it's funny because I'm very pale and I know that, but like when I look even paler, but that's not the point. The point is not the aesthetics of Jace's body. But the point is, I was building relationships in person. The internet really wasn't a thing until middle school for me, or certainly not something that I had access to. Yeah. And my access to the early internet was through AOL. Right? Like, did you... Like if you want to go watch You've Got Mail and that dial-up tone. Dial-up tone, and then you sat there and you checked your email. And if you were allowed to stay on the computer because it took up a phone line, then you could maybe instant message your friends. And I think in 7th grade, so maybe like 2001, 2002, we got our first internet connection as we kind of know it. Wired internet connection.
Yeah, like an Ethernet cable that plugged in.
Ethernet cable. Yeah. And I was given a computer because assignments for school were now being done. That I had to type essays. They were expected to be typed and things of that nature. So I had access to a computer.
Well, and they started teaching us how to use the search system, like the search engine. So like Google and
Well,
Yahoo, at least for
you
me.
started being able to do those. Yeah, you were no longer beholden to AOL as the way you got on the internet.
Right. And they were requiring like you to use those search engines to do your assignments. Like you had to
do your assignments.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find reputable sources?
Yep.
How do you cite sources?
Mm-hmm.
We weren't encouraged to use the internet yet for research, but we needed to be able to know how the internet worked. Like credible sources were still, are they credible? Are they not? And this, I mean, it's the same now, except you get, makes it worse. I feel like the credibility is worse.
So much worse.
But like you couldn't find the New York Times online the same way that you could nowadays. You didn't have access to as many things.
Mm-mm.
So I remember in probably 7th grade being online with friends at the same time for a prolonged period of time became a thing. And we had AIM, AOL Instant Message. That messaging thing from AOL, the way you got on the internet, became a messaging system that you could use as an app on your computer. It was very new, very exciting.
Yes.
And I think probably the fact that like all of us were figuring it out right then led me to the best lessons of give a 13-year-old with all the feelings a platform to post about them. And oh friend, the petty, the drama, but everything that you did online was to or with people you were interacting with in real life. You became friends, whether it was a school friend or a camp friend or a family member. You had to connect. You had to know each other's screen names. Screen names. When was the last time we heard screen name?
I know.
And like, if yours wasn't horribly embarrassing, then I know you didn't pick it when you were 13.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, mine is horribly embarrassing. And it's because I picked it when I was like 12 or 13. But you also couldn't say shit into a void. You weren't saying things into a void. If you had a petty as fuck away message, which you could do, you could put an away message on your instant messenger when you were, sleeping or at an activity or in school, and it could say whatever you wanted. There was no like 140 character limit. And and some of it was like, so-and-so so mean, I hate them. Like, it's so petty.
So teenage angst.
So teenage angst. Like, if you've ever passed notes in school, it was like we just put our notes out there for the universe. Like, is so in love. My best friends are amazing. Is terrible. Everything is awful.
Or you went the super like edgy, vague route and you posted song lyrics.
Oh, I did not do that.
I did.
Friends. I was bad at the internet even then.
Oh, man.
But it means that my first interactions with the internet were all with people I knew, people that I dealt with in real life. I could see the effect of what happened on real people. Oh, and I had, okay, look, I don't know if I've stated this on the podcast. And if I were trying to be like kinder about myself, I'd say I attract the drama. I'm older now. I can say that I probably was also the drama. It's like, I was also the drama. So I remember an instance where someone liked my friend and I was friends with the person who had the crush, and my friend, like, there was lying being done to me and my friend about all of this, and we just pulled up the fucking chat, like, here's your record of it.
Right.
It's like the
like right
screenshots.
there.
We're like, but I mean pages of stuff.
Like, yeah.
Pages that we printed to like
Yes.
show my friend the next day and be like, well, this is what they said to me.
Yeah.
Like, again, I was probably also the drama. At the time, it did not feel like that. It never feels like that. Like, you're like, oh my God, why is there so much drama around me? How am I at the center of everything? Even when it wasn't my drama. Yeah. So I can, as a grown-ass adult, I can uncomfortably admit that. For much of my life. But like, it had real consequences.
Yeah.
The things that we were saying and sharing online, the away messages that we were posting, whether vague or whether specific, were affecting people that I was seeing in real life Monday through Friday at school.
Yeah.
And so there was never a question in my mind of, is the internet a void? Am I screaming into a void? Or do my actions have consequences?
Mm-hmm.
My first lessons were real consequences that they were having.
Yeah.
And that continued. So AIM eventually went away and then it became texting. But I got Facebook. I know, so old. I'm so old. MySpace. Oh my God, I had a MySpace. I did.
I was like, you missed MySpace completely.
I did have a MySpace, but I never used it, which surprises no one.
I didn't either. But when I got
I know
Facebook,
you could rank songs.
Yeah.
You could rank. I think I got MySpace because of camp friends.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds like.
But also, I was a musical theater nerd, so like, what was I gonna do with MySpace? But so I remember MySpace. It was less petty than AIM because I wasn't as connected to people.
Yeah.
In my life on MySpace.
Because it did allow for that interaction with people. Anyone. Yeah. I mean, the first friend you got when you joined MySpace was Tom. The creator of MySpace.
Oh my God.
We love Tom. We love Tom.
We love Tom. I love Tom. I wish nothing but the best for Tom. I hope that Tom continues to live his best life.
Yes.
But you also couldn't search for people in high school or schools the way that you could in Facebook. And so it made it either harder or easier to connect or avoid people that you were interacting with. Your reach could be much further on the internet. Because AIM, you had to know someone's screen name to connect.
Right.
But MySpace, it could be anyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you could find them. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, like, how did I even upload photos? Because I wasn't using a digital camera yet. I still used, like,
you could scan them in.
Cameras and stuff.
Like, once you got them developed, you could have.
I truly don't remember. I'm now, like... It's like that information is gone from my brain. I'm okay with that. But so MySpace played a part, and you could put more things up. You had your messages, you had boards, you could reach out to people. It was a little bit more of a public. Your conversations were more public because they were on your profile.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really until Facebook that things got real. And my Facebook experience was still, you couldn't get on Facebook unless you had a college email address.
Yep. That's when I got on Facebook.
Yeah. So you got on to connect with people at your university. Because I'm a petty bitch, I don't think I even put my high school on there for like 2 years. I think like my friends found me because I have a very unique name. I'm very easy to find.
Yes.
But I know. But like it really I used it to connect with college people.
Right. But again, that's people you're interacting with.
I don't even know if you were allowed to friend people in that first year who you weren't going to college with.
I think you could, just because you could search for other colleges, but I think it was still really limited because you had to, you still had to know the person.
You had to know the person, you had to know the university, you had to know if they were there. Like there was just a lot. It was really intended to build community at your college. That was it.
Yeah.
And so you got lots of friends and lots of people, and everybody's, and you know, the best part about your first week of college is everybody's there trying to make a fucking friend. So like,
exactly.
You get a huge influx of friends from your college in general, and then your dorm and your program, and you find your roommate. I think that's how I found my roommate. We messaged each other on Facebook. We interrupt this episode for a special announcement. Any sounds that you hear in Sephie's background belong to her and Michael's mother, who is visiting. Who's visiting? Who is visiting Sephie currently?
Yes. And
I'm really excited by this. If you, for our members, we will have the moment that Sephie's mom scares the bejesus out of her walking into the apartment, available on Substack. If you are not a member, you can become one at Jace Reads Romance on Substack.
Yes.
Now, back to our regular episode.
It was perfect as the bedroom door shuts. I love it. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't
even know where I was.
Okay. We were
Facebook. Okay.
Facebook, yeah.
So the thing that really came to Facebook from MySpace was the idea of this public profile, and specifically the wall. And the wall was so important. The wall was basically an upgraded away message from AIM. And you would put, it was called your status. You had your status there, and you could be happy or you could be sad. And let me tell you, as petty and drama-filled as 13-year-olds are, give this power to 18-year-olds whose parents cannot find them.
Yeah.
18 to 23, whose parents can't find them. Your parents could theoretically go to your computer and see your away message. Like they had access.
Yeah.
But couldn't see what was going on. And it was so much drama.
So much.
And ridiculous. We just and you could also post on someone else's wall whatever you wanted. And some of it was banal, like, hey, what are you doing on Friday? And some of it was drama. Like, I can't believe you slept with my boyfriend.
Yeah, it was like, all out there in the world.
It was public. I'm trying to remember, actually, did we have private messages on Facebook at first?
Not at first. Messenger wasn't a thing at first.
So I connected to my roommate on Facebook, but we emailed back and forth.
Same.
Oh my God. I'm now like, it's all coming back. It's all coming back to me. So because I think interaction you had on Facebook had to be public.
Yeah, because I don't think they implemented a messenger option until it went public outside of colleges, which happened. I was in college in 2005, which is when my college got it. And it was like maybe a year or two later when it went public.
So my brother is 2 years younger than me, but I feel like he was able to get on Facebook his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
So that would have a year and a half or so.
Yeah. I think that's the same for Michael. Yeah. 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 It was like 2006.
Michael's younger than I am.
He was born in 89.
Yeah, so he's between me and my brother. Yeah. Okay, good. We're all on the same page.
Yes.
So everything is fucking public on Facebook.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
But again, your Facebook primarily at that time were people that you knew or people that you'd met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People
Again,
that you were connecting back with face to face. People you were connecting with from high school because you found them, or people that you were going to college with. And college, Facebook was very important. It was a way that you organized a lot of things, groups, outings. I did theater in college. A lot of, theater stuff was posted. I'm still in theater groups from college.
Same.
And our pictures were terrible, but still precious. So you put them out there. Like I still on my Facebook. It's random ones. They're not attractive. They're not filtered. I believe there are some red Solo cups in some of them. It's just and because you had your. If you went to your sorority formal, you took all the photos and your eyes were bright red.
Yes.
And you someone's angle is terrible.
Terrible.
But, we didn't know angles because you took one photo.
And that was it.
Maybe two to make sure it stuck. But you took one photo.
Yeah.
I remember I got, oh God, I feel so ridiculous saying this, but I got a BlackBerry Pearl my junior year of college. And no one else had it was the closest thing to a smartphone anyone had.
Closest thing.
Closest. There was no camera. There was barely, the best part of it was that I got my email on it. And I can tell you a story on the side of when that saved my ass, being able to access my email on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But smartphones weren't a thing. So if you wanted pictures, you had a camera. You had a camera attached to your wrist.
Yes.
Wrist strap. I have a vlogging camera now, and it came with a wrist strap, and I was like, wow, this takes me back.
Right? Because you went you went to prom, you went to any formal dance, and it was there because you had to have it. Because if in the middle of the song or whatever you wanted a selfie, you had to swing that thing off your wrist and take a picture.
Just so funny. But back to the walls and the statuses.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going through something, you posted, "I'm sad. I feel the ennui." And because I was a theater kid, you would post some really melancholy quote from a show or a musical theater lyric, some obscure Sondheim reference. But people could see it. You were kind of hoping you could see it. Everyone.
Yeah.
And it got back to them or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so everything that you did was to create a reaction from a real person that you were going to interact with later.
Yeah. I know that some of my statuses led to some interesting good and interesting awkward conversations. Just because of how college kids are.
Okay. I don't know if I shared this with you, but all of the children, we are slowly cleaning out my parents' house. They're both alive, but we expect them to be selling their house soon, and we want to purge things sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So smart. I was going through boxes of paper, and I found.
Oh no.
A 6-page, double-sided, handwritten letter.
Oh my God.
From an ex-boyfriend. during one of our breakups, that was a response to what I'm pretty sure was also most likely a 4 to 6 page double-sided handwritten letter that I gave him.
Oh my God.
And this is why, as an adult, I'm like, you know what? Like, nobody, like, this is, you're responding to things in this letter that I must have said to you. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I was the drama. Like, just, like, I wasn't the only drama. Like, this particular boyfriend was also the drama. But like, oh man, so much drama.
Right.
And you're friends with each other, you're living in dorms, and even if so-and-so doesn't see the status, someone else will see the status, or there are, you were like, oh, who's going to comment on my status? And then you can be like, oh, it's okay, I'm fine. I don't even have emojis to properly send tone. Like, there were barely emojis. You used words and hoped that you conveyed the tone, but it was always in service of the real person on the other side of the internet.
Yeah.
No matter if they were near or far, it was always in service of that connection.
Yeah.
And to me, like, you had to request someone, no matter what, you had to request to be someone's friend on
request.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep. You always had to. And so this idea that you would just be friends with people you don't know, no, I don't
weird.
Know you.
It was not thought of.
Friends with you.
Yeah.
No. And so I think it wasn't until Instagram, not that I didn't get random Facebook messages or friend requests or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Or, you know, that random person like, oh, I met you at a party for 30 minutes. I guess I can be, whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't until Instagram and those public profiles that, but it wasn't until we got Instagram that you could just find and follow anyone random.
Well, was it Instagram or did Twitter come first?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter. Yeah. I feel like Twitter, okay, let's backtrack. You are correct. Because I don't have a Twitter. I have a Twitter.
You do, but you don't use it.
Well, Jace Reads Romance has a Twitter account so nobody else can pretend to be me, and it's literally a link to the link tree so you can get somewhere else. I personally think I have a Twitter because a good friend of mine said I had to and made me follow them. And then I never went on it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Twitter was founded in 2006.
But you are correct. I think my interaction is not, so.
Instagram was 4 years later.
Yeah. So here's my awareness. And like I said, I've never used Twitter, so I can't really speak to it. But my understanding of Twitter, I think, is really when you could say things into a void.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was touted as a mini blogging site. Like that's what they called it. You had the 144 characters. That's all you had. To say whatever the hell you wanted, and it went into the absolute public sphere. Like anybody could read it. Anybody could see it.
And you had some of that with blogs, but blogs were different. Blogs had a purpose, like a WordPress or a live journal or something like that. But Twitter really, I think, was the first void that people could scream into.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And also, with Facebook, you had to use your name.
Yeah.
Like, a big part of early Facebook was it had to be you. It had to be you. And with Twitter, it didn't have to be you. It could be any username. It could be
Mm-hmm.
any person. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And I think it was people's first experience saying something and
Mm-hmm.
having no human on the other side in mind when they said it.
Yep. Yeah, I would completely
And
agree.
then, yeah, and then when you get responses, you're not getting responses from humans because you don't think that you're talking to humans.
Yeah. I mean, technically you
So can we all just blame this on Twitter? Technically you are, but
you, like how you are interacting, you have never met this person. You don't know what they look like other than the little tiny thumbnail of their profile picture that you see next to their comment. You know nothing but about them besides what they put in their Twitter profile. Like, that's it.
And you may never meet them, and you may never see them, and you may never witness the effects that your words have on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like in college, if I wanted to say something passive aggressive about my ex-boyfriend getting a new girlfriend, you better believe that got back to me.
Yeah.
Because subtle I am not.
What?
If I wanted to comment on my ex's infidelity, then I was putting that shit out there.
The other thing about Twitter that I think really made a difference was the public figures like celebrities and politicians and singers and everything. They started to use it. That was the start of the parasocial relationship. And I think that's where we got off the rails with
So we can blame it all on Twitter.
Yes, 100%.
We can blame it all on Twitter.
Yes.
And then Instagram came, and Instagram was so aesthetic. And like you couldn't be. There are pictures on Facebook that like I should preclude me, not inappropriate or illegal or anything like that, but should potentially preclude me from running for office one day. Not that I ever want to, but they don't paint me in a great light. Let's just say that. And Instagram was so aesthetic. But again, with Instagram, it wasn't just someone's words. It was pictures of their life or videos of their life that you had access to and you could talk to and you could comment on. And if you're doing a live video, I've done a few of them. I don't like them. I'm supposed to. I don't know, friends, if you want me to go live with y'all on some social media platform. But like, it's real. You can comment whatever the fuck you want. And like, I don't know who you are. Sometimes you can't see them, the comments. They're coming in too fast. You actually want to like have a conversation. And so again, you're building this parasocial relationship where you're forgetting that there's a human on the other side. And it might be because the human on the other side is a celebrity who you hold on a pedestal. It might be because you've never met them. It could be that you don't remember what it's like to be interacting with real humans.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but by the time that I got to Instagram, which you said was founded in 2010.
Yes.
I got an Instagram at the earliest. At the earliest 2015, but I think it's 2016.
Okay.
When I got Instagram.
Well, and then like in the midst of all of this, between Twitter
there's also Snapchat and
Tumblr, and Tumblr was a weird space in 2013. I'm just going to say that because that was like, the highlight of Tumblr.
Again, I should be Gen X. There are just things that I missed.
It's okay if you miss Tumblr.
I missed Vine. I really missed MySpace. I missed Tumblr. I missed all of these.
I mean,
I was never on Snapchat.
I am currently on Snapchat, but that's because my partner is on Snapchat and I support him. So
I had one of my siblings was on Snapchat, and that was the only for an entire year that was the only way they would respond to a message. I have not been on Snapchat since they stopped using it.
It's not all amazing. It's fine. It is what it is. But like all interspersed in there is just this continually growing, these continually growing spaces where you have public availability to big figures in Hollywood, in Washington, in anything.
And I think when we forget that there is a human on the other side, we lose something in our interaction. And like, you and I was kind of joking at some point, and I was like, do you type your mother with those fingers when it comes to shit people say on the internet?
Right.
Like, would you kiss your mother with that mouth? Would you type, like, do you type to your mom with those fingers? And I think it shows that you've never said a mean thing to a real, like, you don't have the balls. You don't have like the balls of a Gen Xer or older person to like say something mean to someone's face and deal with the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, like even elder millennials are better, but still problematic. Like not all, but I mean, they still, because we like you said, we grew up with the internet essentially. Like it started kind of right when we were starting to get out on our own, and we just kind of grew with it. And so it's difficult for us sometimes to get out of the screen mindset because we've lived it our whole life, and remember, like, that's another person. Like you are actually talking to a person. You have to remember that. Yeah. And it's been the cause of bullying and the problems that has caused. I mean,
especially to young people.
I was going to say, I'm a true crime girly. There are too many true crime stories about young kids who were bullied online and who ended up doing drastic things. Yeah. We got real heavy, real fast.
But also, we said the exact same thing at the exact same time.
I know.
We spent a lot of time together, friends.
It's like, and you say, I don't know you.
I can't say that. You know so much about me.
It goes both ways.
So, but like, and this is something that I really appreciate about how, I think this is, for me, a feature, not a bug, is that even when I joined Instagram, I followed people I met. I connected with people I knew. I think at this point, I'm like, I have no fucking clue who's on my Instagram. But if you are a social media person, I don't understand. If I follow someone, I don't expect to follow back unless we're legitimately friends. Like Jason Reed's Romance. Like if I follow you, it's because I want to follow you.
Yeah.
I'm bad at social media. I don't understand follow parties. I don't understand all that bullshit. And if you're someone who wants to connect with me and you follow me, I'm just going to assume you want to follow me. If you want to actually talk to me, DM me. I love a DM. Slide into my DMs.
Yeah.
They're always open. But part of that is because
I was just going to say, caveat.
I value the human. Yes.
I was just going to say, caveat. Jace reserves the right to filter those DMs.
Oh, I do. Hey, friends, remember, I'm a human. Number one, I'm a human. Number two, I am not looking for a partner.
Oh, man.
Should I put that out there?
I think you should. You should.
I'm not using if I want to find a partner, I'm not doing it on social media. I am going to find a partner in an appropriate manner. For me, that is not social media.
Exactly.
If you want to get in my pants, sliding into my DMs is not the way to do it.
We are two very different people in that respect, but we're gonna go past that.
No offense. I'm too bad at the internet for me to trust someone who slides into my DMs like that.
Fair.
Yeah. You want to get in my pants, you got to find a different way to do it. It's not sliding into my DMs. Thank you.
No. I feel like we needed to put that out there before, like when you said your DMs are open.
That's true. My DMs are open. My DMs are open. No, they're not like that.
Not like that. Not like that.
Not like that. Unless you want, like, no, I can't. I feel like there was an earlier episode where I talked about how if you need someone to be your group chat for book shit, like, I can be the group chat for book shit.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a great reason to slide into my DMs.
Absolutely.
But if you're a person, you're like, I want to follow your content, just follow the content. If you want to connect with me as a human, send me a DM. It's great. I love connecting on a human to human level. And that's the thing that we have to remember for all, even corporations to a certain extent. Like United Airlines, the corporation doesn't really, like, is not a human, but they have a social media manager who, and
that is a human,
is the one reading whatever you send them or whatever you tag them in. And bringing back to books, I've seen a lot of discourse, especially in the comments. Like, number one, I don't particularly love posts that are hate posts. Like, oh, I hate this. But especially if you're looking at it from a, like, this artistically was bad and it's really your opinion. It's fine. You can. There is a book that I hate so much that anytime it's on someone else's list, I don't listen to the rest of the list because I hated it so much. That's my opinion. Now, it doesn't mean the rest of the books that they're recommending are bad. It doesn't mean the author's bad. It meant that that book was not for me at all. I'm not even saying the name because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anyone for me to, like, put my hate of that book out into the universe. But especially in the comment section of posts, you have to remember that there is a human on the other side of the post, the topic of the post, the comment you might be commenting on. There are real humans out there. And if you wouldn't want to stand in front of them and feel the hurt you inflict on them, if you wouldn't want to have to see them at your work, at your school, in your life, after having said that to them, then you might need to rethink what you were going to say. Publicly. If you still feel compelled to say it, take it to the group chat. It's why we have a group chat.
Yes.
People who will listen to you bitch, or take it to the subgroup chat. Like, if you have a really big group chat and you're like, I can't take it to this. Every big group chat has a sub chat.
Absolutely.
I have a group chat of 3 people. I still individually text both of them.
Yep. Same.
And it's not like, and sometimes it's because I'm making plans with one and not the other. Like, it doesn't matter. But, like, there was someone expressed an opinion and I disagree with that opinion, and I expressed my disagreement not in the group chat because I don't want to yuck someone else's yum, but in a side chat. And I was like, "Whoo, I just need to state out loud that I do not agree with that." I'm not going to yuck this person's yum. I adore them. They are entitled to their opinion.
Yes.
It's just not for me. But, like, you have to remember that there is a human. And if you are not willing to take the consequences of your conversation in real life, it's why I think Facebook is so hard for family members. Like, you can see people spouting horrible rhetoric on Facebook, and then when you see them at holidays, they don't say any of it. Like, but what they've forgotten is you still read it.
Yeah.
They may never say that shit to your face, but you read it and you know, and it affected you.
Yeah.
And so think of that family member who posted that horrible shit and it affected you and it affected your relationship with them forever. Even if in person, they've never said a word about it. That happens on the internet.
Yeah. It's because we have a screen and people don't think it's necessary to preserve humanity, to be kind. Yes.
Yeah. And so, well, yeah, I'm bad at the internet. It's funny how, like, truly ignorant about these things that I participate in. I am. It's really fucking funny sometimes.
I still enjoy the fact that I had to explain the masked man trend on TikTok to you because you didn't.
I love that you had to explain that there was a difference between For You page and a following page.
Yeah, I had to do that too. That's right.
And it was like, Sephie, I think that these are two different things.
I just looked at my phone and I'm like, okay.
You're like, I'm going to respond to this when I have the mental energy in which to do so. So yeah, you can make fun of millennials. We have weird, what is the part that millennials have that Gen Z doesn't like?
The part?
The side part? Yeah,
like, isn't like the side part, yes.
The side part is millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I don't do that because I have curly hair. Or like, you don't like ankle socks. I don't like ankle socks because my feet are enormous. I'm a size 10, friends. Ankle socks are like a wish. They're a wish.
I'm a size 9.5. So I understand.
You feel it. Yeah. So, even though you make fun of us, remember, one of the great things about being a millennial, being a little bit older, doing all of these things is that our relationships were built. And I say this scientifically, like the way that humans were evolved to build relationships in person. Mm-hmm. We evolved that way. It's why we are able to receive the body language cues that we do. Yeah. And how much more effective body language is to just your words when it comes to communication. Yeah. And not only are you missing out on body language cues, not only are you missing out on the whole physical person, because even in this, like, you don't know what's going on. Like, do I even have tits? You don't know. Like, you don't know.
I'm probably not wearing pants. We're just going to throw that out there.
You haven't seen me grab them in a few weeks. You don't know what's happening up there. But even more so than that, in the written word, you don't even get tone.
No.
And I'm so annoyed as a millennial because I was watching some video and a Gen Zer was like, millennials use emojis literally. I'm like, how the fuck else are you supposed to communicate tone?
I know.
I don't know. And so, like, you have the definition.
That was the biggest issue, I think, when texting and instant messenger started, was you never knew how someone sounded.
Ever.
So of course we're gonna use emojis literally. We want people to know how we're saying it.
Yeah. If you wonder in the captions of my posts if I'm using them literally or figuratively, literally. I'm using
always
them to convey tone.
Always.
If I put a peach there, it means a butt. If I put a laughing face, it means that it's funny.
Yes. Oh my God.
When she said that, I was like, I don't even, like, what's the point of emojis if you're not using them literally? I don't understand.
I don't either.
To be fair, I don't have many Gen Zers sliding into my DMs trying to communicate with me via emojis. So maybe there's a language and I could learn it. If you're Gen Z and you want to slide into my DMs to teach me the non-literal meaning of emojis, the modern language of emojis, please do.
Which is hilarious.
I'm sure I will find it.
That's hilarious. That's a hilarious statement to me because we've just come full circle from Egyptian hieroglyphics. So
right. Oh my God. But those also don't convey tone.
No.
I was recently told that I can show sarcasm with like a /s. And I was like, that makes my life so much easier.
What?
And by recently, I mean in the last like 3 months. I did not know that the /s meant sarcasm.
No. Because that, I just think of it, and I didn't know that is what I'm saying. I just think of it as in like coding terms. Nerd.
I don't know what that.
It's like
No,
when you
it's on Imgur. Someone sent me an Imgur thing and was like, read these comments. I'm like, what does this comment mean? Like that, what's the /? They said sarcasm. It means that the statement was said sarcastically. I'm like, oh, good. Thank you. Is that an internet thing or an Imgur thing? Or like, I don't know.
Well, was it?
So
yeah, I don't know. That's news to me. So I learned something today.
/s means the sentence that came before it was said sarcastically.
Okay.
I have never put it to use.
I probably will never put it to use.
I try to not be sarcastic via text because it's so easy to misinterpret. But so
it kind of sucks when you are really sarcastic though as a person.
Have you met me? So here's my call to action, y'all. Here is my call to action. Remember that everything that you put out into the internet is received by a real person.
Yes.
And that human and there are certainly exceptions to the rule. People
always
who are, fundamentally horrible people and misogynist and don't believe in other people's rights or humanity.
Yeah.
I give allowance for terrible people. But in general, I encourage you to treat every action you have on the internet as though it were a person in front of you. Yeah. Because that's a really good gauge on, should I be saying this? Like when someone makes a slightly inappropriate or very inappropriate comment and you say, can you repeat yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, can you, no, I want you to say it again, please.
Say it with your whole chest.
To call attention, whole chest. So to like someone's face, think of that, have that moment. Is this something that I would say with my whole chest to someone's real face?
Yeah.
And if that's not the case, then a public forum is not the place for it.
That's a catchphrase.
Thank you. And you can thank Grandma Jace. That's what I jokingly call myself. Yes. Grandma Jace.
Yes. All
right, friends. If you want, find me on the internet. Say something nice. Teach me about emojis. And bear with me because I do suck at the internet. I do. I'm working on it, but it's slow going for Grandma Jace. Bye.
Bye.
Jace Reads Romance is a 3 Paws Productions podcast. Produced by Sephie, edited by Michael Achenbach. Our theme song is written and performed by Diana Weishauer. For show notes and more, head to www.jacereadsromance.com. That's JAYCE Reads Romance. Follow us on socials at Jace Reads Romance everywhere. For more exclusive content, visit us on Substack, where you'll find extended episodes, bonus episodes, and more. Have a question, story, or a book recommendation you know I'll love? Email Jace at jacereadsromance.com or call and leave a voicemail at 661-JACE-RR. That's 661-529-2377. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And as always, this is Jace, holding space for you.